Thanks for joining us in the newsroom. I am Annetta Felix. The former General Officer commanding 8th Division Sokoto, Major General Hakeem Okiti, has been dismissed from service for stealing 400 million naira belonging to the Nigerian Army. The General Court Martial, headed by Lieutenant General Lamide Adosun, found the senior officer guilty on all the 5 counts charges filed against him, including disobedience to service orders and theft of public property. Part of the sentence include Otiki's dismissal from service with disgrace and dishonor, as well as a reduction in rank from Major General to Brigadier General and severe reprimand. The panel also ordered that various sums of money, including $6,600, said to have been recovered from him by the Special Investigation Bureau, must be returned to the coffers of the Nigerian Army. His dismissal is, however, subject to approval from the Army Council. Still on security matters, the Katsina State Police Command has placed a 5 million naira bounty on Adamu Yankuzo, the alleged mastermind of the recent bandit attacks in Kadiso Village, Faskari local government area. The State Commissioner of Police, Sanusi Buba, announced the bounty at the police headquarters in Katsina while parading some suspects recently arrested by the command. The police boss said on June 9, 2020, bandits numbering over 200 on motorcycles and armed with sophisticated weapons were led by the notorious bandits Adamu Yankuzo to Kadiso Village, in which 20 persons were killed and many others were injured. He said the command has declared Adamu Yankuzo of Yankuzo Village of the Safe local government area of Zamfara State wanted. A bounty of 5 million naira was also placed on him, dead or alive. The European Union has condemned the latest attacks on communities and villages in the northern parts of the country. In a joint statement on Tuesday by the Vice President Joseph Borrell and Commissioner for Crisis Management Janez Lenaric, it noted that the situation has worsened recently. According to the statement, attacks, abductions and killings of civilians by armed groups in northern Nigeria have led to the death of over 160 people, including 130 civilians, since May 28th. The EU stressed that international humanitarian law must be safeguarded and respected by all parties to the conflict in Nigeria and elsewhere. The EU also urged the Nigerian government, the states, and all parties involved to facilitate the unimpeded passage of humanitarian relief for all victims of such attacks. And now to news and politics. The Theodore State Governor, Godwin Obaseki, is set to join the People's Democratic Party. Theodore State Chairman of the PDP, Tony Azegbemi, confirmed this on Monday, saying, quote, "I can confirm to you that the governor, his deputy, and the entire APC structure in Edo State will be joining the PDP soon," end of quote. He, however, said Obaseki would not be given an automatic ticket to fly the party's flag, as other aspirants had shown interest in the same position. Obaseki was disqualified from contesting the governorship primaries of the All Progressives Congress slated for June 22nd. The PDP has fixed its governorship primary for June 19 and June 20th. Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress National Chairman, Adams Oshomole, has cleared the air over the disqualification of the incumbent governor, Godwin Obaseki, from running for the forthcoming September governorship polls in Edo State. Oshomole made this known while briefing reporters after meeting with the Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, alongside members of the party's National Working Committee, NWC.
Our party is not a party of big men. It is governed by rules. Both the small and the big are subjected to that rule. I'm sure you will agree that our president led by example when we conducted direct primaries in the last presidential election, and we still went to the Eagle Square for affirmation. So if the president did not have the first right of refusal because our constitution did not provide for it, we cannot, under any circumstances, now bend the rules when it comes to some people and then change the rules when it comes to others. Our duty as the management board of the APC is to ensure that we obey strictly the provisions of our constitution, which empowers the National Working Committee to conduct primaries for president, primaries for governors, primaries for National Assembly, and primaries for House of Assembly. You saw last week that PDP conducted world congresses to elect their delegates that will go to the stadium. And it starts to reason whether when you say people can gather 5,000 in a stadium, can you achieve social distancing with 5,000 people in one location? Or will you rather have a situation where you don't carry people from villages to the center, they vote in their respective wards, and you will not have more than 100 to 150 persons, queuing to vote and maintaining social distancing and wearing face masks. So we will find a way around it. It's our governor, we are law abiding. We will, but if PDP can conduct activities across the 192 wards with the same law, I do not think that our own governor will discriminate against his own party. So we are hopeful that everything will be peaceful.
The House of Representatives has faulted federal government's claim of spending 186 billion naira on its school feeding program by the National Conditional Cash Transfer Office. The House Committee on Public Accounts picked holes in the spending while grilling the National Coordinator of the School Feeding Program, Temitope Shinkaye, and Coordinating Officer, National Safety Net, Apera Iowa. They were probed on the disbursement of 64 billion naira out of the 186 billion said to have been spent so far on feeding pupils in public schools. Chairman of the committee, Oluwole Oke, particularly described it as outrageous and unacceptable. The committee has demanded a complete audit of the program with immediate effect. We'll take a break here and bring you updates on COVID-19 across the world. Do stay with us.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
Wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the Go-To app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other People Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
Nigeria has recorded 573 new cases of the novel coronavirus. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, said this on Monday in its tweet via its official Twitter handle. The NCDC also stated that the nation recorded 4 additional deaths within the past 24 hours. The country's total infections have now risen to 16,658. Lagos reported the highest number of cases with 216 new cases, and Rivers was second with 103 new infections. Of the number confirmed, the NCDC stated that 5,349 persons have been discharged. The Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 has clarified that there are no plans to reopen schools in Nigeria anytime soon. The chairman of the Presidential Task Force, Boss Mustafa, made this known while giving updates at a recent briefing in Abuja. Mustafa's statement now clarifies rumors making the rounds that schools may reopen on June 12, 2020.
We have received reports that some states are contemplating the opening of schools, television viewing centers, sports stadium, and other places where large gatherings could take place. The Presidential Task Force re-emphasizes that it is not yet safe to do so, and that utmost caution should be exercised in this regard. The PTF guideline should be complied with while considering decision of this in the future.
New Zealand has reported its first new case of coronavirus in almost a month on Tuesday, when 2 recent arrivals from Britain tested positive after being released early from quarantine to visit a dying relative. Last week, the South Pacific nation declared it had eliminated community COVID-19 transmission, allowing it to relax social distancing measures and rely on strict border controls. Health Department Director General Ashley Bloomfield said the pair were allowed to leave 2-week isolation early on June 13 on compassionate grounds and drove by car to Wellington, making contact with no one on the way. He said they tested positive after arriving in Wellington and were in isolation along with the only relative they had contact with within the capital. Officials immediately began tracing and tracking anyone that came in contact with the pair aged in their 30s and 40s. Let's take a break now and bring you updates on business, sports and international after this. The federal government has sacked Marilyn Amobi from office as the managing director of the Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trading PLC for the second time. Speaking through its special advisor on media and communications, the Power Minister Salim Aman stated that the removal of Amobi was part of the reorganization process in the power sector. The statement announced the immediate appointment of Nnemeka Eweluka as the new managing director of the Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trading Company. The statement said that President Buhari has approved Amobi's sack and Eweluka's appointment. At least 24 soldiers were killed, with several others missing in a weekend ambush by gunmen on a convoy in central Mali. The army said 8 survivors had been found following the attack around a dozen vehicles about 10 kilometers from the border with Mauritania. A military source said earlier that some of the vehicles were able to escape, but that of the 64 troops who had been in the convoy, only about 20 were present at the roll call. It's the biggest loss for the military since November last year, when more than 50 soldiers died in an attack. No group has claimed responsibility for the attack, but Islamist militants are active in the area. Leicester City midfielder Wilfred Ndidi has been rated 8th overall best player in the English Premier League. The 23-year-old was also placed in 2nd position as the best defensive midfielder in the division. Ndidi has been a mainstay for the Foxes this season and was in action for 1,892 minutes spread across 23 matches before the coronavirus pandemic. The midfielder has a rating of 7.36, which is bettered by Manchester City's Kevin De Bruyne, Adam Toro of Wolves, Riyad Mahrez, another City player, among others. And that's it on the newsroom right now. Thank you for watching.